Good afternoon everybody and a very warm welcome to Mildenhall. And today I thought I'd put up this layout update for you guys simply because I've spent so much time at home over the last 3 weeks that when I looked at my last update video that I did for you, I'd realised that so much had changed since I last put the other video up. And the last update video didn't even go up that long ago. So I thought, let me get this update up for you because a lot has changed yet again. You know what they say about idle thumbs, they just keep working and keep going. And obviously with the layout being literally just here in my flat, I just keep picking at it and needless to say, things just get done. So let's just move on to the update. So here is an overall view of the layout as things stand today. I just thought I'd give you this view because it's quite easy to show you this view because the layout is so concentrated in one sort of area. So it's just easy to give you an overall view of the layout. As things stand, it is 9.5 feet long by 4 foot 4 inches now in width. And this is how it overall looks as things stand today. So today's little mini project really has been just getting some of the accessories painted up into South Western Railway colours, or South West Trains colours as it were, in the darker blue. And the Humbrol colour for that is that little pot here on the right, and that is number 15 for those of you that are interested. So I was going through some of my boxes that I have knocking about and seeing what I had and what needed to be painted up. So I've started making a start. It's quite a laborious task as there's many bits. Just time consuming more than anything. So we've got the Batman kiosks, we've got some of the accessories that came with the station buildings, some of the accessories that came through gifts, through either through Alan or through Gary actually. That waiting room on the left, there's 2 of them now and they've both been painted up. So the yellow one that he gave me has now been rebadged and painted up and rebranded. The same as the other one that I had before. So that's something that I've been up to today. Also, I've managed to add some cones to this area here. Also, what I've also done is I've started picking out more and more vehicles that I've come across as I'm starting to go through some of the boxes that I've brought over from Beringer and from Ringwood South. So there's a few more vehicles knocking about on the layout, definitely more buses. We're going to have a closer look at that area shortly. Also, those of you following me on Facebook will know that I've also scratch built a footbridge, which is that one right down the back there. So we'll be taking a closer look at that as well. The container terminal has also been done, and that's virtually complete. These were taken with reference from photographs from Millbrook, so that's just kind of following those. Currently my HIAs are in there just simply because I didn't have anywhere else to store them for now. But I hadn't run them in a while, so I thought I'd give them a bit of a whirl. So, and then at the other end, which is that little section just there, between there and the main point to the main line, is the only bit left to do of the container terminal. And as you can see, there's some more vehicles, lorries turned up also. So as you can see just from this side, the container terminal, and the only bit that's left to do is literally just this bit. We've also got a few lorries. A couple of them I actually forgotten I had. I bought them ages ago when they first came out. And they've been sitting in a box for about 7 months or something like that. And I was actually forgotten that I bought them. So the Freightliner one and the one at the front, which is the Maritime one, that's turned up on the layout. Also, I found a little forklift towards the back end, and as you can see, there's a few more accessories. There's there's a red porter cabin. That will be for the bus inspector. Also, I've just dotted a few accessories about, like telephone boxes and a portaloo. I'm not sure whether they're going to stay there. They're not stuck down. It's just to sort of visualise what I had and what might possibly go where. On this side, also has had some treatment. If I just, you'll see that I've just painted all the brown on all the areas that need to be covered with the grass and the soil. All the paving and everything has now all been painted up. And in fact, if I just get you up a bit, and that's something else that I hadn't done. I said on my last video that I'd sort of got up to about where that Fiesta is in the middle, which is that brown one, and I hadn't done the rest, but now I've done all of it, so everything's all been painted up, so that's another job done. Also over here, I've painted the main road, and that finishes over there now because there was a bit sticking out, so I've cut that off. So that's the main road there, and I've painted that up. I've also painted the kind of hillside in preparation for that. I've also sort of put the taxi rank right in the back, but that bit needs to be stuck down, but that will only get stuck down once I'm happy with everything and it's all done, and then after it will just sit there finally in place. I've got a little card retaining wall here, which also needs to be done, but that's also in the process of being done as well. So as we get closer into the layout, you can see that I've got some signage which is turned up. So let me just show you that. That's not all of it, that's only just a very small bit of it. That's just what I've just put up. And if you come across here, I've also done the Freightliner signage, which is also turned up also. So one of the many things I've been up to also, which has taken a lot of time to do, is just behind this 388 is the bus shelter. And if I just move that out of the way, I've been working on this sort of London bus shelter based on Butterwick in Hammersmith back in the day. It doesn't look anything like this now, but before we used to have cold, drafty bus shelters. This is what they were like. There wasn't much protection, but this is based on those, and as you can see, it's just a shelter, and it's also got some wooden seating, and that's all the way along. I haven't done the bus stop flags or put any kind of detail on it in terms of posters or timetables or anything like that, so that's still to do. If I just raise you up slightly, you can see that I've now done the surface for the buses. So the passengers have got somewhere to walk along the pavement there and catch the bus, or catch the buses I should say. And over here I found some more accessories that I had. I had a post box and some toilets, so I thought I might stick that there. And also I had a post office van. Incidentally, the bus shelter was completely made out of scrap bits and pieces. It didn't cost me anything. But it just cost me a lot of time. It's just made out of card and matchsticks basically, and a bit of sandpaper for the top of the bus shelters, which is there if you have a look at that. Another thing that hasn't cost me anything, which was another project, and I was doing that all day yesterday whilst I was at home, is this footbridge. It occurred to me that there isn't really anything modern out there, and I thought I'd like to have a go at building something, and I'd like to make a footbridge. I didn't have to, because I've actually got two subways down this end and two subways at the other end, but I thought that the layout could lacked a bit of height, and also I quite liked to have this kind of feature on the layout. Again, this hasn't cost me a penny, and this is just scrap card and matchsticks, and also just leftover plasticard that I had knocking around, and various paints and things like that. So again, didn't cost me anything, and this built footbridge is actually the same footbridge that was regularly used on the opening credits of my Behringer station, where it said "Welcome to Behringer" on the front. So basically, I have reused that footbridge and to create this one. So I'll show it to you from the front end as well, so you can have a look at it. Apologies for my shaky hand. So this is the footbridge from the front end. And this is just basically, like I said, it's just a representation of a lot of the footbridges that you see on the West of England line coming, well, on the southwest side towards Farnborough, Aldershot, Alton, those kind of places. So this is very much what I think a modern footbridge kind of looks like, especially around this part of the world. You see a lot of these type of footbridges. They seem to be quite standard with the two lift shafts. So hello there and welcome to my sofa. And on this last bit of the video I just wanted to talk to you about some signage, because it all adds to the detail of the layout. I mean, that depends on how far you want to go with your railway, but to me I quite like the idea of making it pretty authentic and having authentic signs and things like that. So I just wanted to give another mention to Jay Mupton over at Eagle One Signs. He's also on eBay, which is where I got my bits and pieces from in the past. And I just wanted to mention him again because I just wanted to show you a selection of signs of what he's done for me in the past. And here are some of my original stuff that he's done for me. This is the original Behringer signage which he done for me. And he also does the signage for the platform areas and all the rest of it, and he's very good. And then he's also done the platform, how long the platforms are, so 5 cars stop, 8 cars stop, 12 car, 10 car. And it's just, and this was the Network South East, so this is what he done originally for me. That's how I first got to know him, through Behringer. I didn't use him for Ringwood South actually. I used another company because he didn't actually do totem type signage, which I wanted for Ringwood South. He then done some speed signage for me, which is this, which I'm going to be using on Mildenhall. So I'll be using this signage here, this speed signs and restrictions for Mildenhall. So you've got anything that ranges between 5 to 125 miles an hour, big speed signs, and the little diddy ones at the bottom, plus also the arrows for the junctions. Excuse me. So that's something else he's done for me. More recently, he's done my Mildenhall signage, which is to go up. And it's all from the same chap. And I think he's fabulous. That's why I keep going back to him. And then the other one, which I'm not sure how I'm going to use this now, but I did buy it because I was going to do the train care depot, but this is for the train care depot. I still might do it somewhere. I'm not sure where or how I'm going to incorporate it, but yeah, I might do that. So yeah, so that's that. And that's from him. And recently, he's also done for me Volmer. And which is this one here. Oh, so I'll take that out just so I can show you, because I've actually mixed it in with some of the ones. Because what I tend to do is, there you go, these are the original ones. So this is the one that I've added onto the footbridge, onto the crane. And also I've done those ones as well. And he's a very accommodating chap, and he's a really nice guy. And you know, I've asked him about, do you do this and do you do that? And he's just basically said, well, if you do this and let me know, then I'll do it for you. And he's been fantastic. And it's great service as well, so I highly recommend him. So I just thought I'd give him another mention. I've got some more signage to talk to you about, but this hasn't got anything really to do with this chap. This is just stuff that I found on eBay. But before I do that, let me show you what I do. with his signage, with J. Upton signage, what I do is I do like I did over at Behringer and all my other ones. Is basically I get them reprinted, and I use these reprints to be put onto the layout, which I go to my printers and I ask them to do that for me, and they charge me very little to do it. So it's just basically photocopying it onto good quality paper, which is what this is. Because this enables me to just, in case I haven't got enough, or in case I make a mistake or two or whatever, and basically I haven't got the originals to refer back to. So that's why I've still got all the originals, because what I do is I always take them to the printers, and what actually goes on the layout isn't actually originals, it's actually copies of the original. So therefore I've always got the originals as reference for when I need them, should I need them again in the future. And so some of the other signage that I've managed to find and get done is I've managed to get this done. I'm going to get another one reprinted because I realise that this is my only copy. And this is a selection of posters which I have found on the old internet, and ones that I feel are relevant to me. So, you know, you just put in what you like. I think I put in like SWR posters or SWT or Southwest Trains or Southwest Trains posters or something like that. And you just put it into Google and go to images and you see what you can come up with. Now, I managed to find all of these actually what I did do is I actually found one side, and then basically it was duplicated at the printers on the other side, so I have two sets. But I'm actually going to probably get some more because my station's quite big, so I'm not sure whether this is going to be enough. So before I start cutting this up, I might get another 1 or 2 copies. At the end of the day, it's only going to cost me about £1 at most, so it's worth doing. And like I said, you know, you can use them anywhere and everywhere, and I've still got the originals from what I used at Behringer. When I originally did Behringer, I did exactly the same thing. Went onto Google, looked for Network South East posters or whatever, took a load off, and then took it to my printers to have them redone, and then basically then I used those to make up the posters and signage to go onto the station, because I'll be coming onto the station relatively soon. But I haven't forgotten about the station series, so I will be doing that when I get not the paving, but the bits that I need to complete the platform. I will basically carry on the series, because obviously I did the Behringer station, did the station terminus building, how to improve that. So I'm now going to carry on with that series and do the platform one that I said I was going to do. Then I've got the canopies, because a couple of people have asked me about that, and they are on the list of videos to do. So also somebody asked me about how I go about filming, so that's another video that I'd like to do. And also somebody asked me about making roads, so how I do it, so that's another video that's also to come as well at some point in the future. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please feel free to comment and subscribe, and until the next time, it's goodbye from Mildenhall. Goodbye.